Hey guys, what's up? It's the Snake Dude 1814 here, and today I'm actually building my adult Chinese water dragon enclosure for my own water dragon. She's starting to outgrow her juvenile tank as her 55-gallon, and it's time for her to get an upgrade. So let's get started. So first, we're building the frame out of 1x4s and 1x2s. This is just to get the overall frame done, and the tank dimensions due to the frame that we're building will be 48 inches long, or 4 feet, by 2 feet deep, and hopefully we can make it about 5 feet tall. So let's get started. So first, the outside dimensions are going to be 48 by 24, whereas the inside dimensions are going to be 46 by about 22, which either way, for water dragons being active lizards, that's a perfect size. You really don't need to worry about it, and it gives them plenty of ground space. Okay, so now what we have done is we have used stainless steel screws in the frame right here to drill into the middle part, and then in the middle part we have non-toxic wood glue so it is safe for her. Remember guys, when you are building cages, you always want to make sure you're using materials that are safe for your reptiles. For instance, pine and cedar wood are toxic to reptiles, especially snakes if you keep pythons or any of that, but I'll do a whole separate video on that for you guys. But anyways, that's the frame for you guys. Again, we did 4 screws, 1 on each side for the frames, and now we'll get on to the next part. Okay guys, so now as you can see right in the back over there, we used 1x4s to make the corner areas of the frame. That way it holds the plywood and the overall stand together. Instead of using screws, we found that the screws actually made the wood splinter a little bit. So it is along the bottom area, which is pointing this way. We have wood glue on the edge of that, and then we have the nails going in. The nails just didn't splinter the wood, and therefore it allows the frame to be a little bit stronger. Now all we need to do is add it and work with the bottom and top pieces to get the frame built. Okay, so now as you guys can see right here, we've used an L bracket, and then what we've done now is we've used a 5/8 of an inch screw on here because the wood is 1 inch thick, should I say, and now we're going to attach the bottom and the top. And there's our L brackets. So let's get to that. Okay, so now we have it finished, and frame-wise, we got the bottom and the top screwed on with our L brackets, and then we went on each corner using stainless steel screws. That way it allowed more stability, and now all we have to do now is add plywood on the inside. As you can see right here within these ledges, we'll just cover it up, and then we'll be ready for our next step. So we'll get started on that. And there it is one last time. Again, for those of you wondering, the dimensions are 4 foot by 2 feet deep by 5 feet tall. Well, technically, I guess you could say 5'2", just because we added a little feet on the bottom. But otherwise, yeah, that's the habitat. And we'll get ready to get it set up for her. Okay guys, so I know this is a little bit of a quick jump. Unfortunately, I was actually doing a lot of the work at night with my dad building it, so the camera wasn't really that good to film. So I'll just do a quick explanation. So as you can see, we got the entire thing framed out, and we already have the sides and the back on there. But as you guys can see, there is a little bit of a gap in there. For those of you that don't want to use a specific background, then you probably don't want to have that gap there. However, that is not a problem for me, as I'm going to be using the Zoomed 24 by 18 forest tiles to make a naturalistic background for her. And now all we really need to do is sand down this wood to add the polyurethane to make it water resistant, and then we're also going to work on the doors. And as you can see right here now, we have the top. We're about to screw this on. We've got holes cut specifically for our heating elements. Those of you that are wondering, where's my UVB fixture going to go? I'm actually putting it inside the habitat for maximum UV penetration. And the fogger will do the same thing. That'll go inside the habitat. Otherwise, then, we will see you in the next clip. Okay guys, so now the top has been cut. And as you can see, there's holes on the top right there. That's for our lamps. As I said in the previous clip, right is my basking area, and the left is the ceramic heater to keep the top half of the enclosure climatically controlled. And now if we go back, you can see that the doors are framed. And now they are, all we have to do now is add glass to them, obviously get the hinges on, and cut them a little bit. One's a little bit wide, but otherwise it'll fit fine. And then we add polyurethane, and then she's going to get ready and go in. Okay guys, so as you guys can see, everything is done. I just used a ton of water-based polyurethane. Remember, if you're doing this in this case for a water dragon, or really any animal that has high humidity requirements, make sure it's water-based, just because that'll really prevent the humidity from rotting the wood. Although some people don't use polyurethane, the fact that I'm going to be using this tank for the rest of her life and it's not going to be taken down after old age, I highly suggest just using the polyurethane and getting it all done. Otherwise, then, as you can see, the lid is, it's sort of hard to see the cutouts. It's sitting on there. I just took polyurethane, scrubbed it on there. The entire inside of the tank where the humidity will be and she will be is completely covered in polyurethane, as well as the top of that. As you can see on our newspaper right here, I've got the doors. Again, they're facing upward. Actually, although this does look like the top, that's actually going to be the inside, again, facing towards where that high humidity will be, just to completely make sure this wood does not rot. As always, though, whenever you're doing this for animals, guys, let your polyurethane, in this case the brand that I use, sits and usually quits after about a week. However, a good rule of thumb is once you don't smell the odor, it's okay for your animals. Remember, especially with snakes, fumes can be very intoxicating, and especially in a case like a snake, or although we're using this for a water dragon, you don't want them getting intoxicated because of that. Anyways, we will clip back forward 7 days once the polyurethane is dried, and we'll add the doors on. See you guys then. Okay guys, it's been 2 weeks now, so the polyurethane has dried. For her tank, since she is a high humidity species, we used water-based polyurethane. That way the wood doesn't rot and it holds up with her high humidity. I mean, for those of you that have water dragons or anything that needs high humidity, you know how muggy it can get in there. Otherwise, now for the top of the tank, I didn't really want to show you guys just how we built it. It's just quicker to explain it for you guys. But it is on. As you can see, there's screws right down this way. And then we have the lamp holders. This will be her ceramic heat emitter. And then over there, that'll be her basking area. For those of you that are wondering what these white things are, these are actually home entertainment, should I say, things. You use them to put speakers through and hide them if you've got Bluetooth, sound, whatever you guys are using to listen to music. Now, this cord right here, we are using a fluorescent fixture. I have one in there. We're just using a standard 18-inch fixture. It holds a T8 bulb, so I'm going to be using a ZoomEd 18-inch ReptiSun 10.0 for her UVB. And we hit it right along this, so that way you guys don't see a white fixture. And there. Obviously, I don't have the UVB bulb in here at the moment, but it'll keep the cage nice and illuminated for the time we add the second one in. And for those of you wondering, the second one's going to go over here so there's more light. Now, as you guys are probably seeing in the tank, I have recently bought 2 things of the ZoomEd Natural Forest Tile background. I'm going to buy more of them, and I'm going to cover this entire back with the forest tile. That way she can climb up and it looks a little bit more natural. And then, of course, her water pan right down there. I decided to get her a little bit bigger of a tub just because the tank's bigger and I think she would appreciate the swimming space. So now all we need to do is just add the background. We'll add the second fluorescent fixture, and then she'll be good to go. And then, of course, the doors. Duh. I mean, we're not just going to let her run out, because that's what every water dragon owner does, right, guys? We just let our pets free roam. Okay, anyways, we'll see you in the next clip. Okay, guys, it's done. After a lot of, let's just say, hard work, I finally managed to get it up into my room. With the help of my parents, obviously. There's no way I could have done this by myself, but here it is. I mean, you can see there's her new gigantic water tub down there, tons of new vines and branches, and for those of you that are wondering where I got those, some people say you shouldn't take wood pieces from outside. Honestly, here's what I did. I took select wood pieces like this, and I set them on a piece of concrete and I let them bake in the hot sun for 3 weeks with rain, with stuff just to wash them, dry them off. So they're pretty well treated, and I actually also scrubbed them a little bit with water just to remove any lichen or any growing stuff on there. And I guess you'd say that's a free way to get huge pieces of wood instead of spending $90 on, you know, things like that giant cork hollow which she sleeps in, which was useful because, well, she sleeps in that. But yeah, otherwise it's not on right now. I've got all her light, her fogger hooked up. As you can see on the top of the cage, There's her double dome, which is her heat and UVB combo basking fixture. The light on the left is her ceramic heat to control her temperature, which is hooked up to that little shiny thermostat you see right there on the corner. Again, we just had this set up, so it's a little bit cold in there. I know it's set for 86 and it's currently reading 78, but otherwise humidity is good already. It's up to 80%, and let's put her in. So before I do get her in though, as I'm taking her out of her little container, as you guys can see right here, here's Harriet, by the way. She's gotten so much bigger now. But got a nice lock right here. That's one of those, you turn it and then it slips right open. And let's get her in. So I did a double door feature. I've got a weather strip right here, about 3/4 up, just so crickets or anything doesn't escape like that. But yeah, she's probably a little bit cold, so I'm gonna. Oh, it's okay, girl. Come here. I'll just get her right under her basking spot, right up there. There she goes. Lock. We'll close her enclosure. This one first, this one second. And then we'll lock it. I do have a key for this, but I'll just lock it after the video. And there you have it, guys. There is the tank. For those of you that have seen previously in the clip, the UVB lights are on the inside, so she's getting a 10% ZoomEd ReptiSun 10.0 UVB, and there you go. That's, I guess, how you build and, you know, complete a adult Chinese water dragon setup. I mean, this is the way to do it, guys. They need big cages, enclosures, vivariums, whatever you call them. You cannot keep them in a 55-gallon their whole life. That is too small, and they need height to climb. I mean, this is a 5-foot-tall enclosure, and this will last for the rest of her life. For an adult male, they get a little bit bigger than she does, so you might want to even go for a 5 or even 6-foot-long enclosure. But because of how she is a 2-foot female, maybe closer to 2.5 feet, she can live the rest of her life in this 4-foot-long cage. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like it, leave a like. Always hit subscribe if you want to see more. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys.